Today I'm going to show you the simplest one exercise to have your posture like perfect. And this is specific to you if you either have a posture that's forward like this and you feel pain from it. Because it's usually the pain that gets someone to take action, let alone if we didn't realize that doing this all the time it just doesn't look right, and it's gonna impede blood flow to your brain. So I know a lot of people that just are like this, and some are very healthy individuals. You know what I do? I go like this. Push it back. Now, I could tell you some posture exercises where you're like against the wall, right? 5 points: your head, shoulders, your butt, and your heels. That's great, yet it's a good one, but there's not enough strength training in that. It'll feel like strength training, yet I think that I know that this one is going to be easier to apply in the 1 minute I'm talking to be doing, right? 1 minute you're going to like literally do this for every day, 3 times a day if possible. I guess I should put this a little lower of camera so you can see the view. All right, so it's real simple. You don't really need to see my feet yet. I guess the OCD in me and perfectionist. Yeah, you're not gonna see my feet. But anyways, my feet are like pointed slightly out. Just put them comfortable. Lift one foot up and the other foot, and however they stand is perfect. Okay? This is the best posture exercise. You're gonna squat just a little bit, because if your posture is off, you haven't been squatting most likely with body weight, especially high repetitions like over 100. That's not necessarily what we're going to do here, but you're going to squat down. Notice my spine. If you get that stick here, you can see the perfection of my spine. Okay? I have my cerebral spine, which is my head and my neck, touching the tailbone. Okay? So I could squat like that, right? See that, how it's still touching here and here, right? And then here. Yes? Yes. You see, the stick is touching my head and my tailbone, and I can still squat and stand. This is like that 5-point exercise I was teaching you. That's why I'd rather have you do this, because if you do this properly, you're doing it. Now, yeah, you could hold a stick, a broomstick, I'm holding bamboo, whatever stick you have, you could hold and do this. Literally, like, use a little broomstick and have it as a reliable one. Spend $5 and have a stick there. It's one of the best exercise tools ever for your spine. And look, we did it for a minute already. We didn't even do the full exercise. That's part 1. Next is you're going to point your fingers backwards. So you do a squat, and then you point your fingers behind you. Squat, point your fingers, and if you could, look behind you. This right here is going to heal your spine, and I know you're probably saying, I can't do that. If you're like this, doing this is gonna be, you might be doing something like this right now. And stop. Or you may do something like this. If there's pain, stop. But you're gonna go, you could touch your knees, and then go as far back so that you could touch behind. Okay, there should be no pain. You need complete control. One thing that's helpful is the word progression. So we want to progress. You don't want to just go from not being able to do this to being able to do it. You slowly progress. That was 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and with that, your posture can change dramatically. Doing it 3 times a day is probably best. 3 minutes, right? Morning, noon, night, whenever you could do it, at least once a day. And then start changing your posture. Just be aware with appreciation of your posture. If you're here like this and you're jacked up and you see it, then you could start to feel and look in the mirror and create that proprioception to know where your body is in space, right? By looking at it and doing that wall trick or your new exercise equipment. Right here. You should be able to stand tailbone to head. Crown of the head over the tailbone. Sing it with me now. Crown of the head over the tailbone. Sing it with me now. Crown of the head over the tailbone. Write it in the comments so you remember it. And you are amazing. Keep this up. Another thing that really helps posture that, I already drank all my water, but I was going to drink it in front of you just to have the effect. You drink more water and your posture will improve. Start walking, but keep in mind doing that as a primer before you exercise. So before you walk, right when you wake up in the morning, do that, and then it'll free up your spine to remind you, open up your heart. Open up your heart. This is also an emotional issue. You're closing your heart. You're trying to look down and not make eye contact in some way, possibly, right? Open up your heart. Express yourself. Make eye contact. Smile. What fires together wires together. When you start smiling regularly and changing your physiology or your posture, you could change your facial expressions, and that will completely change your reality in more ways than you could ever know. Thank you so much. Stay blessed by the best. If you'd like a free book, go to ogfit.com and you may have a chance to work with me. You could see if you need some help, the things that I offer there, like mentorship and membership. For now, check out the free book at ogfit.com. Again, ogfit.com. Click it now, get the free book, and let me know what you think in the comments. Blessed love.